When I was a girl, I dreamt of standing in a room looking at a girl who was and was not myself, who stood looking at another girl who also was and was not myself. My mother took this for a nightmare. I saw it as the beginning of a career in physics. I had trapped the atom in mid-air. Colleagues called my Lutece field quantum levitation, but in fact it was nothing of the sort. Magicians levitate. My atom simply failed to fall. If an atom could be suspended indefinitely, well, why not an apple? If an apple, why not a city? The Lutece field entangled my quantum atom with waves of light, allowing for safe measurement. Sound familiar, brother? That's because you were measuring precisely the same atom from a neighboring world. We used the universe as a telegraph. Switching the field on or off became dots and dashes. Dreadfully slow, but now you and I could whisper through the wall. Brother, I have told you many times that I encountered this particular Caesar before he crossed the Rubicon. When I met Comstock, he was little more than a preacher, able to move both members of the flock or members of Congress with equal dexterity. He believed in my work, and his influence bought the funds I so needed. And if he wanted to use tears to play prophet, that was his prerogative. But at some point, the man became incapable of distinguishing his performance from his person. I sit in judgment. But then again, it was I who built the stage. Brother, what Comstock failed to understand is that our contraption is a window not into prophecy, but probability. But his money means the Lutece field could become the Lutece tear, a window between worlds, a window through which you and I might finally be together. Comstock seems to have been made sterile by simple exposure to our contraption. A theory. Just as sexual reproduction can de-emphasize the traits of each parent, so goes the effect of multiple realities on our own. Your traits dissipate until they become unrecognizable or cease to exist.
DeWitt, time is running short. Bring us the girl and wipe away the debt. The debt's paid. Mr. Comstock washes you of all your sins. The tear is becoming rather unstable.
It's fine, hurry!
Fine? Are you mad?
No, you will not get caught in between, come!
It is uncomfortable enough as it is!
It's going to be more uncomfortable if you don't come now!
If I get caught, it's going to be a very long time before we see each other.
You will not get caught, I promise!
You can't promise me that!
We're going to lose our window!
I'll wait, thank you!
It's ready, go!
The tear is closing!
You've got to pull her through!
Pull! No, she's not through!
Hurry! Oh, no, look out!
When I finally brought my brother through, he seemed to lack the capacity to square his own reality with this one. I suspected such a thing would happen, yet had no means to accommodate his distress. His behavior was that of the feeble-minded. He hemorrhaged nearly continuously from his nose. Naturally, I was able to transfuse him from my own veins and thus avoid catastrophe. In the end, it was music that proved therapeutic and grounded his thoughts. A middle C vibrates at 262 Hertz, no matter what the universe. You have been transfused, brother, into a new reality, but your body rejects the cognitive dissonance through confusion and hemorrhage. But we are together, and I will mend you. For what separates us now but a single chromosome?
I assure you, madam, my sexual interest in your dear prophet is non-existent. Furthermore, the man is quite sterile.
Lady Comstock seems to believe the child is a result of some errant act of carnality between myself and her beloved prophet. I told the poor woman the truth, that the child was a product of our little contraption. But I think she found that less believable than her delusion. Thinks Bird is a repulsive creature, but I suppose a prison needs a guard. What surprised me is not how the girl has imprinted upon the monster. After all, one might observe a baby chimpanzee accept a wire replica for its mother. But I did not expect the brute to be capable of forming an attachment in return. Perhaps it could prove a better father to her than the two she has known. What makes the girl different? I suspect it has less to do with what she is, and rather more with what she is not. A small part of her remains from where she came. It would seem the universe does not like its peas mixed with its porridge. This evening, on my way back from supper, my theory became reality. A spontaneous tear had opened in the market district, emitting both sights and sounds. I observed what I could only imagine to be some future version of Columbia. Though familiar, strange red flags with a small yellow icon flew from her rooftops. Although we can lock up the girl, it appears her powers will not be imprisoned so easily. That ghastly Fink fellow has been busy of late. He has sent his minions out to prowl the city, on the lookout for tears wherever they might appear. They are armed with camera and voxophone. One could only presume he is no longer content to steal patents from his own reality. No surprise, then, his scientific breakthroughs. I imagine I could also appropriate parlor tricks like incinerating trees with the snap of my fingers. But the universe offers more delicious fish to fry. The prophet is dying. The metastasis has aged him so quickly. Why does this Comstock decay, while a Comstock in another world remains fit? If genetics are destiny, what accounts for the difference? Perhaps exposure to the contraption. It merits further study. Our contraption shows us the girl is the flame that shall ignite the world. My brother says we must undo what we have done. But time is more an ocean than a river. Why try to bring in a tide that will only again go out? My brother has presented me with an ultimatum. If we do not send the girl back from where we brought her, he and I must part. Where he sees an empty page, I see King Lear. But he is my brother, so I shall play my part, knowing it shall all end in tears.
Yes, and made an absolute hash of it.
One doesn't expect a picture of one's corpse
To come across so lifelessly.
Comstock has sabotaged our contraption, yet we are not dead. A theory. We are scattered amongst the possibility space. But my brother and I are together, and so I'm content. He is not. The business with the girl lies unresolved, but perhaps there is one who can finish it in our stead.
I told you it would work.
We already know it works. The question is, will he? Do you suppose he branded himself as some sort of penance? Don't see the point. What's done is done. What's done will be done. I suppose the brand is his hair shirt, as he is ours.
See? He's starting to put his story together.
You're quite fond of this theory of yours.
He's manufacturing new memories from his old ones.
Well, the brain adapts.
I should know. I lived it.
Are you going to just sit there?
As compared to what? Standing?
Not standing, rowing.
Rowing? Hadn't planned on it.
So you expect me to shoulder the burden?
No, but I do expect you to do all the rowing.
And why is that?
Coming here was your idea.
My idea?
I've made it very clear that I don't believe in the exercise.
The rowing?
No. Imagine that's wonderful exercise.
Then what?
The entire thought experiment.
One goes into an experiment knowing one could fail.
but one does not undertake an experiment knowing one has failed.
Can we get back to the rowing?
I suggest you do, or we're never going to get there.
No, I mean I'd greatly appreciate it if you would assist.
Perhaps you should ask him. I imagine he has a greater interest in getting there than I do.
I suppose he does, but there's no point in asking.
Why not?
Because he doesn't row.
He doesn't row?
No, he doesn't row.
Ah, I see what you mean. We've arrived. He's not moving!
He will, eventually.
I suppose he does. Shall we tell him when we'll be returning?
Would that change anything?
It might give him some comfort.
Well, at least that's something we can agree on.
I'd certainly hope so.
It does seem like a dreadful place to be stranded.
Heads?
Or tails.
Heads?
Or tails.
Told you. I never find that as satisfying as I'd imagined.
Chin up. There's always next time.
I suppose there is.
We won't leave until you do. You have my word on that. It does show a certain lack of initiative. If you keep this up, I'll be forced to start repeating myself.
We have company.
We do indeed. We were already here.
Why are you following us?
Aperitif.
You'll find that handy in a pinch.
The difference between life and death. Surprising.
Surprising that it worked?
Surprising that it didn't kill him.
But a magnetic repulsive field around one's body can come in handy.
If it doesn't kill you.
A fair point.
You missed. Missed. Missed again. 4 out of 5.
You'll find the going tough enough without squandering your friends.
Or your ammunition. Another miss. And a miss.
We can afford to do this all day.
The question is, can you?
I hope he doesn't keep on with that.
He could be at it all day.
Bird?
Or the cage.
Or perhaps the bird.
Nothing beats the cage. Surprising. I expected the cage.
If you're going to be a sore loser, then I shan't do this again.
Now that's just sophistry.
I expected the bird.
If you're going to be a sore loser, then I shan't do this again.
Dead is dead.
I see heads.
And I see tails.
It's all a matter of perspective.
What do you see here, from this angle?
Dead. And that angle?
Alive.
This is becoming rather awkward. This one needs a bit of a nudge. We could spell it out for him, I suppose. Ah, your silence betrays you, brother.
It was never here. The same coin.
A different perspective.
Heads.
Tails.
Dead.
Alive.
It's like riding a bicycle.
One never really forgets.
One just needs the courage to climb aboard.
You've misunderstood us.
We neither asked you to harm the child.
Nor did we promise that yours would be the hand that would set Comstock's world afire.
A famous man once said,
And a famous man shall say,
I may reach the mountaintop,
but I fear I shall never visit the valley below. It's up to you what matters more.
Your part in the play?
Or the play itself.
Someone is coming.
She'll arrive a girl.
She must leave. A woman.
And what makes the difference between a girl and a woman?
Your part in the play?
Or the play itself.
Give the girl no choice.
And she will be forced to make one.
That's not it.
Certainly is.
Isn't.
Is.
Isn't.
Is.
Try again.
All right, here you are.
No, that's the E.
No, that is certainly it.
No, it's not.
It is.
Isn't.
Is.
Isn't.
Is.
Try again.
No, you try.
Fine.
Nope, that is not it.
Is.
Is not.
Is.
Not.
Is.
Not.
Pay attention.
No.
Are you certain?
Quite certain.
That's the E.
Tis. It's wrong, though. It's quite close, but it's wrong.
That was the same note.
Fine. Here we are. Ha! There it is.
The notes were correct.
The instrument was not.
One needs both to get his attention.
But if you know how to sing to him...
He will take you where you need to go.
Would you care to hear anything else, brother? Perhaps a waltz? We are where we are needed.
And needed where we are.
Perhaps you should ask the maestro himself.
I told you they'd come.
No, you didn't.
Right. I was going to tell you they'd come.
But you didn't.
But I don't.
You sure that's right?
I was going to have told you they'd come?
No.
The subjunctive?
That's not the subjunctive.
I don't think the syntax has been invented yet.
It would have had to have been.
Had to have had been. That can't be right.
Odd, isn't it?
What's odd?
The fact that we sometimes...
Finish each other's sentences?
Exactly.
It would be odder if we didn't. Why do you ask what?
When the delicious question is when.
The only difference between past and present
Is semantics.
lives, lived, will live.
Dies, died, will die.
If we could perceive time as it truly was,
What reason would grammar professors have to get out of bed?
like us all, Lady Comstock exists across time.
She is both alive and dead.
She perceives being both.
She finds this condition disagreeable.
Perception without comprehension.
Is a dangerous combination. She goes to unfinished business.
It's a shame you have need of her to enter Comstock House.
Frankly, she doesn't seem all that cooperative.
There is a way to bring her to reason.
3 truths you must discover first.
Truths which, in this world, Comstock has destroyed.
If only one of you had the power to alter time and space.
That would be a blessing, wouldn't it?
Hmm.
Why do you ask what?
When the delicious question is when.
Lives, lived, will live.
Dies, died, will die.
Bring us the girl and wipe away the debt! We had a deal, DeWitt! Open this door right now! Are you in there, DeWitt? Mr. DeWitt! Mr. DeWitt! Bring us the girl and wipe away the debt!
Now we've upset him.
I don't expect this next bit will do much for his mood. To your credit, you did try to weasel out of the deal. Things get set in motion.
How would one know how far back to go?
Our current state of being, or lack thereof, has left my brother unfulfilled. The biological urge to leave one's mark is strong, and it is not an impossibility. We could instantiate ourselves back in Columbia, return to an old life for the possibility of creating new. But we died in that world. Returning would mean giving up part of us, ourselves. We'd become flesh and all that it is heir to. The mysteries of the universe would become once again mysteries.
You turn to us to solve your problem,
To provide a place to go where you might forget.
where there never was an Anna in the first place.
Comstock was never one to own up to his errors, was he, brother?
Never comfortable with the choices he made.
Always seeking someone else's life to claim as his own. If we're going to end up at the same place, I don't see the harm in enjoying the ride.
Are you being cute?
I've come round to your way of thinking.
Have you?
Yes. I do believe one can change things, but after all the bother, one often wishes that one had not.
You're a fatalist.
A physicist?
A fatalist.
So was Newton, especially when it came to apples falling from trees. They always contrived to land with a splat. She left the child to rot.
Are you implying she's the apple?
I'm implying that she did not fall far from the tree.
And now she wants to go back.
Back to where she has no right to be.
Back to where she doesn't belong.
Do you want to tell her, brother, or shall I? There are rules.
Even for one such as you.
She'll forget.
All the doors.
And what's behind all the doors?
All closed to her now.
She'll be just like the rest of us.
Forgetting the past.
The present.
The future.
I'd wager she won't even remember this conversation. We've arrived. You're trading omniscience and croissance for death and mildew.
We all have our crosses to bear.
But there is a thin line between a martyr and a fool.
Though there's little to like in this Atlas fellow, one must admire the lilt in his brogue.
I do commend this recent effort of yours to find the good in people.
Sadly, it's all a lie.
The effort?
The accent.
I don't suppose there's much about the man that's authentic.
He's authentically homicidal.
And you view this as a positive.
Well, one has to start somewhere. A disagreeable fellow, this Suchong.
That's surprising. I'd imagined he'd be right up your street.
I feel dirty sharing a universe with the man.
How poorly we see our own traits in others.
What do you mean?
You both see the world through a lens of science.
And what's wrong with that?
Ask young Miss Comstock.
I would, but I don't suppose she's any longer in a position to answer.
I imagine you view this as vindication of your theory.
I take no joy in her failure.
One must give her an A for effort.
But an F on results.
You give her no credit for good intention.
The universe does not grade on a curve. It's strictly pass-fail.
Surely it's better to have died trying.
Better trying not to die.
And what now becomes
becomes of the girl?
A burial at sea, I suppose.
I was referring to the child.
Why ask questions you don't wish to hear the answer to?
You mean...
Enslavement, exploitation, extermination.
There must be some hope for her.
If it helps you to believe so, brother, then I shall not be the one to disillusion you.
She's gone for good now.
She knew her ticket to rapture was a one-way proposition.
You can warn people not to collapse a quantum superposition, but do they ever really listen?
So ends the DeWitt-Comstock Line.
Don't let your grief overwhelm you, sister.
One could believe a mission is doomed to failure, and wish sincerely that it wasn't. Hopes like quantum superpositions have a tendency to collapse.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Row your boat
Row,
gently
row,
down the
row
stream.
your boat gently
Merrily,
down the
merrily,
stream.
merrily, merrily,
Merrily,
life is
merrily,
but a
merrily,
dream.
merrily, life
row,
is but
row,
a dream.
row your boat
Row,
gently
row,
down the
row
stream.
your boat gently-
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently.